Britain is a proud nation of pie lovers, and there are lots of occasions when a pie really is the perfect food, like for instance at a football match. It's hearty, it's wholesome, and most importantly, handheld. A football pie really is fuel for fans on the terraces, rather like this one, which I have to say looks absolutely delicious. But of course not all pies are equal. Some football clubs sell factory-made bargain basement pies at a really big markup, while others, well, they take pride in their pastry and put in only the very best ingredients. I tell you, I know which club I'd support. But could the quality of the pies even convince one avid football fan to change his allegiance? For some football fans, a key part of going to a match isn't really anything to do with the game itself. It's the pie they enjoy at half-time. And Kevin Mitchell is a big fan of both a traditional pie and his local team Bradford City.
The first half, whether you're winning, you're drawing, you're losing, you look forward at half-time to a cup of tea, coffee and a pie. And for all age groups, older men like myself, young kids, doesn't matter, we all love a pie.
Now, in the past few years, the humble pie has seen something of a renaissance. Gourmet pies lining supermarket shelves and restaurant menus are chock full of high-quality, mouth-watering ingredients. But whilst much of the country is now in love with posher and pricier pies, Kevin reckons some of the ones sold at a typical football match have been left behind, including, he's sad to say, those at his own beloved club.
Well, I've just bought this pie, priced at £3.20. Is it good value? Not really. And for a family with children, a man, his wife, 2 kids, it's a lot of money.
But while Kevin wrote to us about the cost of refreshments at his own club, he doesn't think he's had much value for money at many of the other grounds that he's visited. Like some other teams, Bradford buys its pies in, pre-made and at £3.20 each. Kevin thinks they're, well, mid-league at best.
Quite frankly, it's not just the size of the pie. It's expensive, it's poor quality, and it's just really not acceptable.
And some of his fellow fans agree.
I suppose it's a captive market, so you're always going to pay top dollar for them. And it's whether the quality's up to it or not, but in most cases they're very, very expensive.
I used to, especially at Bradford, but I don't anymore due to it being overpriced. Travel away with Bradford quite a bit anyway, and throughout home and away sometimes the pies are too expensive.
The price of pies across the divisions varies almost as much as the football. There are 92 clubs playing in the top tiers of the English leagues, and Kevin wants to know just how his £3.20 pie compares to the others, and what he could be getting for that money elsewhere.
Pies need to be good value. I mean, football fans pay a lot of money, you know, especially families. It's not cheap, and if you've got to pay the money, then you want good quality.
So how does Kevin's Bradford City pie compare with pies at other clubs? Well, in 2014, BBC Sport created a league table of the cheapest and the priciest pies at the 92 top-flight clubs in English football. Top of the table for cheap pies is Rochdale, Bradford's League One rivals, with a pie costing just £2. Burnley and Chelsea have the cheapest pies in the top division of English football, the Premier League, where a pie is £2.50. The most expensive pie in the top 4 leagues is at Brighton and Hove Albion in England's second tier, the Championship, where a pie costs a princely £4.10. But there's our handmade, award-winning pies, and as such are considered by many to be worth every penny. As for Bradford, well, they're languishing in equal 59th place, with their £3.20 pie nearly 20p above the average price of £3.03. Of course, who's top of the league isn't just about price. It's also about quality and flavour.
Even though the cost of pies across British grounds is often quite similar, around the £3 to £3.50 mark, there's unfortunately a drastic difference between our highest rated and lowest rated pies. Some of them really do have that quality ingredients, they're well cooked, they're cooked on site, whereas others, it seems like the pie is just an afterthought, can be lacking in filling, it can fall apart upon eating it. Sometimes it's not even cooked properly, or it's been just heated too long and is dry and therefore very unenjoyable. I think there are certainly quite a few clubs where unfortunately they've not actually sold very good quality pies. It can be easy to put up a sign saying homemade or quality pies, and actually when we've actually tried them, we've actually found them very disappointing.
Kevin would be happy to pay more for a pie that he enjoyed. So where other than Brighton could he find one that's top of the league? Well, help is at hand, because every year the British Pie Awards honour the best pie in football. And twice in recent years, including in 2014, that's been won by Morecambe FC. So Kevin's taken an away day to the home of the Shrimps, Morecambe's Globe Arena, to see what makes these pies such a strong player. But will a trip to the home of what some would say is Britain's best footy pie make Kevin think again about which club he supports?
Graham, I brought you a present.
What's that? You can't wear that in this building.
Why not?
It's rubbish. You can't wear them colours here. It's all about that, mate. Sorry.
These are the colours of the mighty Bantams, the famous Bradford City.
We could use that to polish the pie trophies. What can I say?
Graham Aimson is chief pie maker at Morecambe, and he knows just how important a good pie is to the fans.
To the outsider, many people would say, well, what's the big deal about pies? But there is a big deal, isn't there?
It's massive. Pies and football are like bread and butter. The two things you go to a match for is the football first and the pie second. You can't guarantee the football, but we will guarantee you'll have a great day with the pie.
Every home match, Graham and 2 other kitchen staff turn out more than 1,000 pies in 4 different varieties. And with just over 2,000 people attending each game, that's a mighty 50% of them tucking in to one of those award-winning beauties.
Now then, Kevin, welcome to the kitchen, and everyone who comes in gets a nice blue apron. So if you pop that on, we've got this lovely machine here. We put the pie into there, remove our fingers, 2 tons of pressure from that, so it'll flatten your fingers, which is no good. And then we just pull the whole thing down like that, right to the very bottom. You'll see the excess pastry fall over, so we get a good lining, and that's basically a base.
And Kevin's soon having a go himself.
And natural.
What do you think, Graham? Have I got a job?
It's perfect, you can start Monday morning.
Excellent, thank you.
At £3 a pie, Morecambe came joint 31st in our pricey pie table. Pretty much bang on the average for all league clubs. But it's still 20p cheaper than the pies at Kevin's beloved Bradford City.
The pies themselves are £3 throughout the stadium, and that comes with peas and gravy, so it's a set price, and you get the peas and gravy. You have as many peas as you want. If you want it swimming in gravy, you can have it swimming in gravy.
Graham, Bradford City as a club means a lot to me, but the pies don't, quite frankly.
Yep.
And I'd like to know what Bradford can do as a club to improve and perhaps reach your standards.
I think the way, not just Bradford, but a lot of clubs should be looking at doing is talking to their suppliers and saying how they can make that pie into a better product. There's an awful lot of sales that they're missing out on then because of a lower quality product. If they improve the quality and give you a tasty pie, they're going to sell more, the reputation's going to get more.
It gives the fans as though they're getting good value for money, and I would imagine enhances people wanting to come to Morecambe Football Club.
We've had emails from Holland and Texas saying how good the food is, and we've had people come from Europe to try the pies. And when we hear of fans coming out saying, oh, we've come for the football, but more importantly, we've come for the pie, that really brings it home to us that we're doing the right thing. And if we can set benchmarks at Morecambe, then that's what we're going to try and do and push forward, because if we can do it, anybody can do it.
So that raises the question, how can one club produce an award-winning pie by hand for less than other clubs charge for one that's mass-produced? Bradford City doesn't set the price of its pies. That's done by a company called Centreplate, which handles all the catering at the stadium. When we spoke to the company, it told us it's committed to a high standard of quality and service, and always appreciates feedback from the club's supporters. But it said, in light of the points that Kevin has raised, it now plans to re-evaluate its pie offering. But Kevin is now convinced that making a good pie at a reasonable price is possible. And it's something he'd like to see more clubs taking on board.
Morecambe seem to be able to produce an excellent pie that's handmade with all the best ingredients for 20p less than Bradford's. Many, many other clubs should come and take Morecambe as an example and perhaps learn quite a few lessons.
But could what he's seen and tasted be enough to convince Kevin to come back to support Morecambe a bit more often?
It's been a brilliant day, and this pie is absolutely fantastic. Is it good enough to make me change allegiances? Maybe not quite, but I tell you what, it came very, very close.